Happy day. What's going on? It's me again, Jay Breezy, aka Jay March, and you've tuned in to the Last P podcast, the podcast where I just talk about what I want to talk about. And today, I want to talk about Fenster gegen Spiegel. Welche benutzt du am meisten? That's roughly translated, window or mirror. Which one do you use mostly? So when I say window or mirror, let me get the definition correctly. All right. So a window, an opening in the wall or roof of a building, house, or vehicle that is fitted with glass or other transparent material and a frame to admit light or air and allow people to see out. People to see out. A window allows people to see out. A mirror, a reflective surface. Now, typically of glass coated with a metal amalgam that reflects a clear image. Reflects a clear image. So window allows people to look out. Mirror allows people to reflect a clear image. Probably wondering where am I going with this, right? All right. So let me tell you. Today, a lot of people tend to look out of the window instead of looking in the mirror. Because when you're looking out of the window, you are seeing what's going on, what everybody else is doing. You are looking out, seeing what's going on in the world around you, paying attention to the next man's business, to put it blunt. You know, a lot of people look out of the window, just to see what somebody else is doing, paying attention to what the next man have or what the next man got going on. Then, taking that and then gossiping, talking about what other people are doing or what they have going on. So, what I want to discuss in brief is just that, a lot of times it's way easier to look out of the window and pay attention to what's going on outside of, what you need to be focused on versus looking in the mirror. When you look in the mirror, you see a reflection. And a whole lot of times we don't like what we see when we look in the mirror. We don't like what we are seeing reflected back at us. So it's hard for people to see that reflection and then take it in and work on it. And what I want to discuss is just that, looking in the mirror, seeing your reflection, taking it in and working on it. It's not easy. I know that from experience. I've never really been the one to really pay attention to what the next man got going on, or, anytime I get gossip, it comes to me without me even asking for it or without me even seeking for it. Because to be honest with you, I could care less about what the next man is doing, and I can care less about what the next man say about me, because what that other person or people have to say or think about me, that's none of my business. So I don't really pay attention to that too much. And I try not to look out of the window unless I'm literally looking out of the window and looking outside to see how the weather is. But other than that, I really, it's not my business what the next person is doing, and it's not your business either. And a lot of times, a lot of people look out of the window because, as I stated before, they don't want to look in the mirror because their reflection that's coming back at them, they don't like. And that's what we have to do. We have to take a look in the mirror at ourselves and look at our faults and, the things that we do wrong or the things that we need to work on. It took some years for me to get to that point myself. Not to say that I was, looking at other people's life or other people's business or concerning myself with that, but just in general, just to look at myself. Because there are things that, issues that I had that I, clearly either didn't see, didn't want to see, or just wasn't paying attention to it. And then sometimes, we can have our friends or family members or somebody just give us constructive criticism about ourselves. And a lot of times we can't handle it because we have yet to look in the mirror and see that reflection. Once I learned how to look in the mirror, first of all, once it was like when people would say to me like certain things that I needed to work on, I used to take it personally. I used to get upset. I used to be like, who the heck are you, telling me about myself? You don't know me like that. But a lot of times people can look at us on the outside looking in. Instead of looking out of the window, they could be on the outside looking in. And they can see certain things about us that we cannot see about ourselves until we look in the mirror. As my dad would always say, sometimes we just have to play our own movies. That means sometimes we just have to go back and rewind our movie, play it from the beginning, and look at ourselves. Look at what we do wrong. Look at what we need to work on. And I was really guilty of that in relationships, past relationships, not only with females, but with friends and family members. And sometimes, there's a trend that we follow, and we don't really recognize the trend until like we add the common denominators. We look at the common denominator, and then you have to be like, okay, if this is always happening, could the problem be me? Let me take a good look at myself. Let me analyze me. Let me see what I need to work on. Let me see what this person said about me. Let me see if it's true. So let me just take a good look. So you have to, look in the mirror and take a good look at yourself. Even if you have to, write certain things down about yourself and, begin to work on it. You have to start from the inside. But you have to recognize it first. And that's the problem a lot of people have. We're too busy looking out of the window at somebody else's problem instead of looking within ourselves and figuring out what our problem is. And we ignore our own problems and focus too much on the next person, what they got going on. So when you take that good look in the mirror and you really, really see that image and you really be honest with yourself and you start to work on yourself, it'll put you in a way better place. Way, way, way better place. Versus like, looking out the window and just being in everybody else's business. It gets you absolutely nowhere. And just as much as you are looking out of the window, talking about somebody else and being in somebody else's business, please believe me that somebody's looking out of their window at your business, what you got going on or not going on. But again, as I stated before, what other people think or say about you, that's really none of your concern. And you shouldn't really even concern yourself with that. But more or less, concern yourself with what you think about yourself, how you feel about yourself. It's very important that you discover who you are. And by discovering who you are, it can get ugly. And as I stated, previously, like I had to do it myself. There were like times when people would tell me really, really not good things about myself. And I was like, kind of going back and forth and fussing and not really believing it. And then if you hear the same thing several times, again and again, from more than one person, then you really, really have to seriously consider that, you could be the problem. So when you look at yourself and you really discover that what all those people were saying about you, and I don't mean like strangers, I don't mean just people just gossiping. I mean like people who genuinely care about you, who see things about you that you can't see about yourself that you probably or may need to work on. So when people do that, people that care about you, they're only trying to help you. And that's also something that we have to realize. Everybody's not out to get us. If somebody, and everybody's not being a hater either, because, we throw that word around so easily nowadays. He just hating or she just hating. That's not the case. Because a lot of times what you have, maybe somebody else really don't want it. But if they tell you about yourself and you don't listen, then shame on you, because you will not grow at all. And growth is important in life. Growth is good. We all need to grow. And I hope that you take these words and like just really focus on yourself. Like, don't be focused on what everybody else or anybody else got going on, especially if you have like your own skeletons that you need to work on or fix. So my routine is like, if I am told something about myself, right? Like I said before, I'll take it in, I'll think about it, and then I'll be like, maybe it's true. Maybe that's why, like, it's like a consistent trend that I am on. And let me analyze that. Let me take a look at myself. And then, acceptance. Once you take a look at yourself, once you realize those things that were said to you about yourself that you possibly and probably need to work on, once you realize that it's true, then you accept it. Once you accept it, that's when it begins. Acceptance of one's behavior, good or bad, and one's ways is the first step into bettering yourself. So, with that being said, someone tell you, you look in the mirror, you realize it's true, you accept it, then you begin to work on it. You begin your journey of working on yourself, transforming yourself, and making that part of you better. And once you make that part of you better, you'll become a better person, and you'll be a better person to be around. And you'll throw off a different type of energy, an energy where people will be like, they will want to be around you because of that energy that you have, a positive energy. Like you have confidence, you know yourself, you know who you are. And then you also have to be able to apologize to people as well. You know your wrongs. And if you just do wrong things or say wrong things to people, you have to be, mature enough to be able to apologize to people. So in closing, I want to say, stop looking out of the window, focusing your energy on what anybody else is doing. Start looking in the mirror, see your own reflection, see your own bads, your own goods, and work on yourself. Accept your bad, work on it, get better, transform, stay focused, and you will see just how things would be different for you, and people will want to be around you. People will want to get some of that good energy that you're throwing off, but you also have to be careful. Be careful of who you give your energy to. And we will save that one for another day. I'm Jay Breezy. This is the Last P Podcast. Until next time,